we're back again and almost ready to get the next game rolling. I have Victor from Team 1 as well as Bird from StarTale joining me for a quick pre-game interview. So Victor, you had the chance of watching StarTale play just now. What were your thoughts after watching them?
Our thoughts, especially after playing a good game versus Alliance. I mean, we almost lost the game in the first minute, so we were handling pretty good later on. So we have motivation to play now and to try to win versus StarTale. And they lost also, so their morale is maybe down. So I think we have a good chance.
Are your morals down after a loss, or are you guys just brushing it off?
No, we can't lose morale. We're Serbians.
And a French guy, not to forget about him. Well, he's standing in. You have to count him in.
His grandma have Serbian roots also.
Okay. All right, then we got that one sorted out. So you guys just played a really, really good game. A lot of people have been very surprised. What about yourself? How did you feel in the game you just played?
Oh, I'm also surprised. I didn't think we would. I mean, we didn't win, but I think we had a good showing, and yeah, I think it boosted our morale. I don't think we lost morale either. But I mean, I don't think we'll win, but we'll try our best.
All right, and we are really looking forward to that game. So I let you guys get ready and into the mood of playing, and we should be ready in a few seconds as well. So good luck to both of those teams. We can't wait to get that game going, and for once, okay, we're gonna get it back to our casters.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Of course, we are back, and we are your casters. I'm Toby1.
And I'm Milk.
And we are back. How's your moral doing, Milk? How's your moral doing?
My moral is, it's good, it's good. I'm here to replace the Frenchman again, showing that Danish is the superior language when speaking English.
Well, we have to find out.
Yeah, we do.
Not the language
I have
thing.
a very sore throat. This is why I'm asking pro players to stand in for me every now and then, because I've been so sick all week.
Well, maybe it's because I also like having the pro players with me.
Yeah, that too, obviously.
Yeah, it's nice. It raises my moral. What also raises my moral is the fact that we saw Trixie arrive, as well as Kurukai. They both also had flight troubles. For those that don't know, there's like blizzards and snowstorms all over Europe.
So it looks like everyone
right
is
now.
here to actually fight this time.
Yeah, we got everybody here.
No more delays.
Yeah, that's going to be good. It's going to be good. So we can move nice and smoothly from the top teams and then back down to the teams which are setting themselves up here. So there should be no delays coming up at the next game. But let's have a look at our two teams which we will be casting now. So StarTale, very surprising for their first game. They came out playing very well.
I'm actually impressed with both these teams. One put up a really, really good fight despite the early Roshan loss. And I'm actually surprised they managed to fight Alliance as well as they did. And then StarTale against Fnatic. Granted, Fnatic played with a stand-in, but StarTale put up such a good fight, especially MP's Storm Spirit. So impressive, like 2 Aegis steals. Then Mirana played really well. Actually, all of StarTale played really well, so I can't decide a winner for this match. Yeah. And I'm actually I'm inclined to go with StarTale for this one.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling it too, man. Like it's one big thing which StarTale did very well was their laning, and that was something which maybe like we saw the Serbians, they tried something different, they tried something unusual. I know we were talking to Victor as well and said like they've got like a couple of pocket strats which they're going to try and do, a couple of ideas which they want to go with. I don't know after that last game if maybe StarTale's going to force it, because like the way that Victor was talking to me is like, yeah, it's like we'll save it for Fnatic kind of thing. But after StarTale's last performance, I think there should be a mistake if we could see one being eliminated in the first round.
Yeah, I think they need to bring out all their guns. A lot of this is going to rely a lot on their mid, on Fonzie. I think the matchup between him and MP is going to prove interesting. Mm-hmm. I've heard people saying that MP has one of the best invokers they've ever seen, so I'm really, really hoping that they'll pull that out and show us that.
I would like that. I would like that a lot.
But Fonzie in this lineup, to me, is really the standout star. He's such a great player, and we haven't seen much to him ever since he left MTW last year.
Yeah, he was part of MTW. He used to play their hard carry, their lone druid kind of boy.
Then he was on Quantic for a little while with Silent and Goblak and the 2 other French people.
That was a really short time, though.
Well, they participated in DreamHack Winter last year. But yeah, I'm glad to see him back, and I hope this means that he'll start playing actively in the competitive aspect again.
Yeah, no, I kind of missed him. Well, missed him being awake. He always sleeps whenever he's not playing. That was the joke that always went around MTW.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no matter what happened, like if a game was on, before a game, out like a light. It's just everything was off. And then game would start up, he's like, I'm awake now, and then just started playing. That's why when he played Lone Druid, we always called him like he is basically the Lone Druid.
The sleeping
because
bear.
he hibernates all the time.
Right, right.
The only other thing he would play would be like Ursa, and then maybe we could class him as the same kind of thing.
You guys are some jokesters.
Yeah, it's the nice laughing. It's the nice laughing. I'm just gonna like slap around one and just tell them correct names, please. Correct names. They had a couple of fun names in the last game.
I believe
Hopefully
Is No
this
Good
time around.
is actually Fonzie. Another player that's been playing under that nickname is Lacoste, one of the players from One that isn't actually going to this event, citing, I don't want to get bitch slapped around.
What?
I don't think he was too
Where,
confident.
where did you direct quote this?
From him.
Okay.
I don't think he was up for the task of getting a beat down from Alliance and Fnatic, and I think he really could have gone and showed his team that they had a fighting chance. Oh, it's actually Twister.
That's a horrible way to really quote this. Like, sorry, I think you're gonna lose. I don't want to turn up. Like, that's a horrible way to try it.
Well, it was a
don't
personal
even
conversation.
say
I'm really
that
just
quote.
outing him right now.
All right, cool. So he's gonna be sitting there at home just going, Jacob, you betrayed me. You betrayed me.
Probably.
At least say anonymous source or something like that. That would work out. An anonymous source said that he said that.
Yeah. Can I salvage it still?
Hmm?
Can I still salvage it? It wasn't.
No, I think it's beyond salvaging,
Oh,
man.
okay. I'm sorry,
That bunker was destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's your answer. It's Twister, who was actually.
Yeah.
So he also plays under the tag of Valera. He actually played under the tag of Valera ever since he left Team Empire. Because we know he was one part of Team Empire. Team Empire during the TI3 qualifiers, and the team lasted for a grand total of. Actually, never even made it to the TI3 qualifiers. They were disbanded before the TI3 qualifiers began, but they decided to still play it out nonetheless because they already had the invite slot.
Yeah, I think that team lasted for like a week.
Yeah, it was a rough team. It was a rough team, and now Team Empire have their footing. Unfortunately, not here.
It was depressive times for Empire back then because they had been one of the most standout teams before the TI qualifiers, and then suddenly team disbands with Phonic leaving for Navi and Goblak leaving the team, and they were really looking to be one of the most sure thing invites for the international, and then bam, Navi steals a player and
Zero gravity. Working those cogs, man.
rough life.
Working those cogs.
Can't really blame neither Navi nor Phonic for making that decision though. Came in second place in a close fifth game against Alliance, so definitely the right decision on their end.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about, man. It's the player training. You got to find something that works. And keeping a team together is rather difficult. Like, the Koreans know that better than anybody else right now with the changes to FOU. Of course, we've had a couple of our European players also go down to Korea as well. Blitz, who found himself in a lot of trouble of recent times.
Not really European, though.
Oh, sorry, American. Sorry, American. We haven't had any Europeans travel yet. But maybe Lacoste.
I doubt it.
Wouldn't want to live in Korea?
No, he's rooted. He's too well rooted in Croatia right now. But yeah, a lot of American players seem to go over there. I know Tenbird isn't actually normally a Korean citizen. So him, of course. Then there's, as you were saying, Blitz. I know March has actually moved from America to Korea as well. All of these players have Korean roots, of course, so they speak the language. One that doesn't speak Korean is Demon, who's there playing for MVP right now, but that's on a 1 month lease, so to speak. So he's planning to come back to America.
It's basically one season of the sponsorship league.
Yeah.
Yes, they do it in goes now.
I mean, I would actually prefer him to stay in Korea just to sort of get that scene rolling and get it to be more competitive and actually open up for the Korean scene, taking in foreigners, so to speak. That would be very interesting to me. Not because I don't want Demon back in Western play. I definitely love to see his play style. But I think it would help Korean Dota a lot right now that they have someone that sort of can set a standard. And in terms of individual play, he's definitely a strong player.
Yeah,
when he's
definitely.
not busy making up his arm for some throwing. He does work out those arms.
Can really you as an EG boy say that?
What?
Actually, no. You have multiple times. You accept who you are and you move on.
Yeah, I do. Throw is.
But we're drinking orange juice today.
We're drinking orange juice.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
got
throw
my
is.
huge bubble on the
I think
side.
it's an overused term, though. I don't think neither EG nor many other teams necessarily throws as much as the community points them out to do.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes you're behind or you gotta do some kind of Hail Mary play, and then people start yelling throw constantly.
Yeah. It's sometimes it is just like that.
I will admit, though.
There are still legitimate throws.
I will
technically.
admit EG has probably done some of the dumbest things, some of the biggest throws. I'll admit that, but it's not every time.
It's also a sad thing for EG. EG came second in the North American qualifiers both times. They actually lost to Demon's team, Take 5, in the North American qualifiers for this season of EMS.
You have to rub it in, don't you?
I just have to reference it because it was on the topic. But yeah, they were replaced by the Koreans.
Yeah.
They were, sorry, yes, by the Korean teams.
Yeah. Well, something along those
Basically,
lines. I'm not
we
entirely
got
sure
8
who got
teams.
the spot, yeah, but they were replaced by one of the teams present today. I was actually thinking EG might even have made it into the tournament, but in the last minute, one of the Chinese teams managed to get a visa, being VG Gaming, but
I still can't wait to see them play.
no, I'm
Like we have amazing games coming up right now because like StarTale's actually given us something. He's like, okay, it's not going to be a stomp with just the Koreans now. It's like, yes. And then one's trying new and different strats. I'm like, yes, interesting. And then you got Fnatic versus Alliance coming up next.
yeah,
It's
we got
yes.
we got the best that Europe has to offer, and then we have like probably the hottest team in China right now coming in as well, and we have the best Korean team as well. So it's like one of those tournaments that really band the world together. Aside from North American Dota, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Tenbird could technically represent both continents, Asia as well as North America.
Yeah, he could.
That's a big burden on one player's shoulder.
Seems to be doing it pretty well so far.
Yeah.
Or at least with his mid-solo MP.
You're-
He seems to
you're
be
the
doing it quite well
only-
so far.
You're the only representative here from Australia, the
Correct.
continent Australia.
Correct. Correct.
You were actually yesterday
there's no
saying
professional Australian
you
players.
were refusing that Australia was a continent yesterday. Do you want to further elaborate on your thoughts behind
No,
that?
no, I'm fine.
Right.
But I will forever look at Australia as an island,
Right.
even if every single European person debates it.
I'm glad that that you came around.
I'm not saying I'm not going to say I changed my mind. I'm now going to start lobbying that Australia is now classed as an island.
Until then, Greenland shall remain the biggest island.
Yeah, yeah.
Greenland, which by the
It's
way
just-
is
all I'm seeing is European bias right now.
no. It's
That's massive European
it's
bias.
just a matter of fact. And Greenland, by the
Of
way,
European
is owned
bias.
by Denmark, which is my home country. It's 55 times as big as Denmark.
Can we not go into how great Denmark is?
Denmark is great. It's also
No,
voted the happiest
no.
country on
It's
the planet
also one of the
5 years
saddest
running.
countries in the world because it has milk in it.
Well,
well, actually, not anymore.
yeah.
If it was the happiest country, why would you move to Germany?
Yeah.
Sorry, I have NoTal now coming over here who also wants to just point out that Denmark is #1. Yeah, but notice how he doesn't play with any other player from Denmark. Yeah, see? He finds happiness in the comfort of other countries. Spread the love, man. Spread the love. I think we're ready to go now. StarTale as well as One have said they're ready to go. So now that we, oh yeah, that's a good thing. One, team profile, please. Team profile. There we go.
I like this location because we can actually watch, regardless of where the team is playing. So there's 4 different places for a team to play right here.
Correct.
And we can sit in the caster's desk and actually see all the desks.
Well, I can see all of them, yeah. Unfortunately, when we look up, like, I see the Koreans and I see their heads, but I only get basically the backs as well as the,
Speaking of the
lower
Koreans, how do you
portions.
like this guy's hairstyle?
Oh, it's
It sort of resembles yours.
just, that's just so wrong.
I mean,
Obviously,
I think it's very handsome.
Yeah, so, meanwhile, back at the game. This is the reason why we bring in Bucking Mad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for the awkward silence.
Yeah, obviously.
Sort of building up for you to actually answer, and then you just sat and looked at me.
Happiest country in the world, Denmark, because they don't make jokes like that.
Toby was actually cursing under his breath. He was like
I was not cursing.
hitting me under the table.
I am a professional. I am professional, Milk. I don't curse.
in every sense of the word.
Unless I am like really surprised.
Yeah.
Then maybe it might slip out. But I'm professional. I'm professional. So professional, Draft time.
I got Team 1 coming out with the first ban here. I'm curious to see what they're going to ban. I'm still praying that they're not going to ban out the Invoker, because I really, really want to see MP play this. Like, if people... Normally, when people hype up a player for a given hero, it must mean that he's actually good at it. So, please. Interesting.
Timbersaw is the first ban.
A Timbersaw ban. Obviously, the Elder Titan ban coming out. It's probably the most reliable second or first ban for the second pick team.
I'm just wondering why Timbersaw. Like, Timbersaw's one of these heroes which we've already seen being countered many, many times. I was talking about it with Matt during the last broadcast, where you just pick a Doom Ringer and Timbersaw doesn't move. Any farm you actually put into him is completely destroyed because he just can't move or do anything with it. So there's no real problem with that one. And now let's take out the Bristleback. We're taking up the tanky-style heroes. StarTale, I'm almost hoping that this is the time when they go, you know what? We know what we're going to do. You take out a couple of the tanky heroes, not a problem at all. Let's go Pugna. Let's go push. Let's go taking out towers.
You and your Pugna.
I'm going to push for Pugna so fucking much, man, because it makes it impossible for Hand of Midas play, and that's why I like it the most.
Well, as I was saying earlier, it doesn't really make Hand of Midas play impossible. But yeah, you do have a point. It makes for teams to actually be able to push a lot harder. So if they do not want to play Hand of Midas, it's good.
It's a little Funsy's awake.
But yeah,
it must be Lone Druid time.
I think the Timbersaw ban is just as much because if a team have no intentions of picking a Doombringer, then it's a really very legitimate hero. I haven't looked too much into StarTale's past in terms of picks, so I don't know if they're very reliant on the Timbersaw. But I saw the Clockwork last game, and he was playing an amazing game. So I think they can be very happy with just getting the Clockwork.
As Hani was saying before, like, there is no current meta in Korea. So anything which you think StarTale is doing one week, it'll change the next week. That's just the way it all goes down. I kind of want to see Gandhi's Wisp. More than anything else, I want to see Gandhi's Wisp.
Yeah.
Because he actually, like, after I went past the whole... Like,
they're actually undefeated with Wisp.
Are they?
Yeah. He's 2-0. I just got the stats from my stats woman Zoe. And I can see here that they have two games played with Wisp. It's not on a large scale, but 2 wins.
No.
So that's pretty good. They actually haven't played Timbersaw once, unless I'm... Yep, they haven't played Timbersaw once. So I think this comes down to one, first of all, much like me not knowing StarTale all too well, and secondly, just being afraid of Timbersaw. And there's the Clockwork pick again. And I think that's a very solid pick because they just displayed that they are very proficient in playing the Clockwork.
As Tim said, like, when you look at their lanes and everything else, all they want to do is just focus on making sure they win their lanes, and then they transition in and try and work on their team fighting and work on their coordination. And that's what they did very, very well in the last game. That's what I was saying at the end of the last cast. It's amazing how far they have come. Like, it's actually mind-boggling. From the first time I saw these guys play in the first sponsorship league, like, they actually changed teams. Like, everyone basically changed teams after the first sponsorship. After the first starter league, before the sponsorship league kicked in.
Well, that's what I mean. You and I discussed this like a few hours ago. When the Koreans get more experience, I'm sure they're gonna like pick up their game and be able to compete with these European players. Some of the Europeans here today has been playing this game for 9 years. So comparing them to Korean players who's been playing at most 2 years, 1.5.
Yes, so, like, some of these guys came from like the League of Legends scene as well, because that's very, very big in Korea.
Yeah.
Some of them came from the StarCraft 2 scene, or Brood War scene, depending on where. They're basically the 2 biggest games as far as like esports wise in Korea goes. So yeah, Dota 2 is definitely in its infancy.
It's probably, exactly. Like, with the growth that Korea is experiencing right now, it's probably the country that has the brightest future in terms of Dota 2 right now. And it's just a scene that's so very interesting to follow and see. And Nexon is doing a great job. We also saw them take in these teams for the super matches.
Yeah.
Which was...
They even flew a noob Australian caster over. It was great.
Yeah.
Ah, I liked it.
Yeah. Were you the Australian caster?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Not so much noob, actually.
No.
No, I worked hard and prepared myself for that tournament.
Well done.
Yeah, thanks. It was difficult researching Alliance because I hardly ever cover them.
So I'm curious to the bans here. There's a
we got the Venom
an Abaddon ban coming out. Again, not a hero I have on their statistics. So I think it's safe to assume that one has no clue what StarTale is playing.
No, I got a funny feeling that this is a ban out just as a preparation, because I know one has something planned, and I'm not supposed to spoil what they have planned.
Ooh, I know what you're referring to.
You-
It's pretty obvious, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by me not giving it away, I can actually be mistaken and still just claim the credit for it later
Really?
on. That was exactly what I was thinking. No problem.
Yeah, well, OD will now be the ban out here by Tempered. The Storm Spirit ban was just because, obviously, StarTale, we already saw MP play a really great Storm Spirit. So remove him out, make sure you don't have to face up against him. And then OD, so Tempered just trying to make sure that middle lane works for him. I'm wondering, though, with the OD pickup, if they were still thinking about the Invoker. Because the OD ban, like, would you
I
really
think
want to
that's
ban OD?
very likely.
Yeah.
I like this Chen pickup coming out from them. That means they're going to put on some early aggression. They have the Crystal Maiden, they have the Chen, and they have a Clockwork, meaning StarTale can fight a lot early on.
It's gonna be Pogna.
I think the Pogna would have been a more worthwhile investment for them to pick up if they really wanted to go for it.
I'm just waiting for them to replicate something which I know they would have seen from DK when they were there in Korea.
I'm putting my eyes on the stats, and I'm thinking Undying. Maybe.
They need to go. No. It was a support Undying when they played it.
Really?
It wasn't a carry Undying.
God damn it.
Yeah. So I don't think your strat's gonna like you.
Oh,
And there
Lifesteal.
we
It's
go.
a very generic lineup.
It's very stable. You got some combinations with the initiation from the Clockwork, hook in with Infest Ball. You've got stayability through the Chen and push ability as well.
And if you look to European Dota, Alliance, Fnatic, and Navi could all be seen playing a lineup much similar to this one, if not completely identical to it, depending on the last pick, of course. So.
And it's such a great pickup too when you go up against hero like well, I suppose it's not as great after they changed Alchemist's ultimate, but still, it's still a good thing. Like Lifesteal's can be leeching out as much as he possibly can.
I think this Alchemist is still in a supportive role. I
You
want to
think
say,
he's gonna be in support
unless they
role?
pick up a Bane.
Yeah, I guess I still want to see a different combination more than an Alchemist, because then you've got like 2 projectile stuns, both of which Lifestealer can evade. Even though he'll take the damage, he can evade both of them.
I think what Team 1 needs to do here, Team Done. They might be after
They're
this
not
game.
done.
You never know.
They're not done.
No. Okay, there's a Weaver pickup.
Okay. Were you about to say Alchemist solo mid? Is that what was on your mind? Because you're like,
No.
that's what
I was
Team wants you
thinking,
to do?
let's go be crowd pleasers here in Poland and have like the audience really come to life and just pick up Bane and then finish off with a Putz pick. I don't think you get a much easier game if you have Mirana hitting an arrow on a long distance, or Bane setting it up with Nightmare, or Alchemist hitting off an unstable concoction. Putz would have been awesome.
I'm.
This is a great all-around lineup coming out from StarTale. It's so versatile, and it just works in all phases of the game. They have the late game secured. They have great team fight. They have great lane control. I really like Team StarTale's lineup.
Yeah, it's very stable. It's stable, and no matter what happens, like you've got a plan B. Like if your early game goes wrong, March of the Machines will give you that space that you can catch up. And also it gives you a little bit of early game aggression, not as much as I would have really liked up against a Weaver, because we're not looking at a lockdown on Weaver. Like, what are you gonna? That's gonna stop the time lapse. Like, there's not a huge amount of control there. Maybe once Ticker picks up a Scythe of Vice, you can like rearm and Scythe, but you need a lot of mana to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
No, so well, looks like Team 1's ready to go, and Beastmaster.
Here we go.
You get your wish.
I like that.
You get your wish of the Beastmaster.
Yep. So I'm up 1 on you. You were rooting for Pugna picks. I
Yeah.
was rooting for Beastmaster picks.
Yeah,
This
but they banned the
effectively-
Pugna.
This put me ahead with 1.
Lol.
I'm 1 up on you.
That,
Greatness.
was that intentional pun or unintentional awesomeness? You don't even realize your own pun,
Oh,
do
I
you?
get it. I get it.
Oh, whoa.
Damn, I'm good.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, I can still take credit for it. It's all right.
Yeah, well, let's get ourselves into it. We're going to have ourselves our lower bracket first final matchup, where it's going to be Team 1 going up against StarTale. The loser of this is out of EMS. It's literally that simple. If you have 2 marks against your name, you are dropped down to the group stage. And the winner of this will advance 4 to face up against the loser of Fnatic versus Alliance, which will be the next game coming up directly after this match.
I'm almost in a spot where I would have wished for Alliance or Fnatic to be in the loser bracket just to see one of them go out, because we're so used to seeing these two teams play. I want to see StarTale play. I want to see Team 1 play. I've seen so much of Alliance and Fnatic.
You can watch StarTale play. We cast it all the time from the JD studio.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Easy solution. Easy solution. And one's always playing in other things. So,
Toby, apparently Tenbird wants you to be his friend.
I can do that. Actually, I need to clean some people off my list. I don't have a high enough level on Steam that I can have like a huge amount of people.
Toby. You're a social guy. You have a lot of friends. Whoop-de-hoo. I only have 140 people on my friends list. You have like 1 million. What a guy. The people's man. What?
Yes, I have a lot of people. Let's get to the game. All right, let's rock and rumble, peoples. Let's rock and rumble. So, one's lineup. We'll be having them head out to their lanes already. So we'll have Funzy going down as the Beastmaster. We'll have the Alchemist. Hang on, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at a lot of consumables, as well as a smoke coming. So looks like we're going to try a level 1 fight from these boys. We'll be Twister as the Alchemist. We'll have ZM AJ, which is in fact Mitch.
I think
as
it's
the
pronounced Smai?
Shmai?
Smai? I don't know.
I call him Mitch. But what we used to refer to as Bucktop is in fact Victor. It'll be Grazine as the Weaver, and then the last one will be Funzy as the Beastmaster. And StarTale, well, they've got the high ground, quite literally, just sitting up next to the ancient area. So JYU Livestealer, Gandhi as the Chen. It was MP into the role as the Tinker. YK will be the Clockwork, and that leaves our last one, which is Tenbird. He will be the Crystal Maiden, and that wraps up our lineup.
There's something beautifully symbolic about Gandhi playing Chen, isn't there? Like just saving people, and
It's rather holy.
yeah. I just like it.
Well, right now, if one waited just a second longer, they might have been able to gank out the Crystal Maiden, but they didn't want to wait any longer. They've backed themselves up, and we're going to see ourselves with dual lanes. So we'll have a Visage, or will we? No, Victor is deciding where he wants to run. But we have Mitch on the off lane. Yeah, Victor's going to go with him. That puts the Beastmaster in the middle lane, and then Twister will be up on that top lane, just babysitting Grazine as the Weaver. And so far for StarTale, they're also rotating their lanes a hell of a lot. Like Gandhi was moving up, now he's going to move down to his own jungle. It was the Clockwork on the off lane, the Livestealer on the safe lane, and Tenbird's got to get down there and help him out as quickly as possible.
I like this from Team 1. Like, they effectively force StarTale into actually giving attention to the bottom lane, and they know that with a Clockwork on top lane, they don't really need a lot of presence there. I don't think the Alchemist is going to do too good of a job of keeping a Clockwork out of experience range, but by doing this bottom lane, Livestealer is not going to have an easy time farming, and Weaver's just going to pull ahead.
Well done, Twister. Star of the Concoction ends up doing a lot more damage to himself than he really intended. That was all meant for the Clockwork.
And StarTale is actually going for the greedy early gameplay, where they have the Crystal Maiden jungling, using the Frostbite, and then just having Chen in the jungle as well. So this means that Livestealer is not going to have nearly as many last hits as the Weaver. Actually, Clockwork is leading the board. So Twister's going over to pulling on the top lane. Sees no purpose in trying to keep a Clockwork away.
Oh, it's the right thing to do, because he also needs his levels. If he tries to just stay and just push the Clockwork back, then you should have been picking up a Venomancer, obviously before it got banned.
Yeah.
But in this case, he's got to find experience somewhere else. It's kind of like watching this middle lane too. I'm wondering how long it's going to take until the Chen rotates in. But he needs a good creep so far. There's one Centaur camp and there's one Speed camp available right now.
What he's doing right now is using Tornado to harass the bottom lane. So instead of actually paying it or giving it any kind of hero attention down there, they just have the Crystal Maiden still rotating around and Chen creep pulling instead, and just relying on the Tornado to sort of force Team 1 on their back foot.
Mitch is fine with this, though. Like, the Tornado came up. Sure, it took a little bit of damage, but with the creep wave pushing up the way it did, we're still looking at a 6-4 Mitch. He's still got a lot of CS for this off-lane Mirana. Now he buys boots up as well. So things are looking okay for the off-laners. Overall, to be expected, there is no difference in golden experience. Only 2 minutes in. There's fishing with the arrows down towards the bottom lane. is just everyone's just waiting for that perfect timing, and I'm waiting for Ghani to group up with the Crystal Maiden and just smoke this. In fact, Sentry Ward, just in case they would be visible, and they're moving. This is what I love to see. They got their timing
Exactly.
right.
And they're going to go for the middle lane because that's a melee hero. I wish they would have done this earlier because then they would have picked up the courier kill as well. They could have even done a solo smoke and just like...
Funzy really needs to be on the high side of that line right now, and he moves back up again, but the Centaur with the Nova means the Centaur stun, it will connect. Frostbite as well, not the best chain in the world, but they will still get the first blood here in the middle. Good rotation coming out from StarTale, and the Serbians find themselves one less man short in the mid.
And see this Tinker skill build. He's not at all opting for March of the Machines, he's just going for the hero kill. I really like that a lot.
Do you really need the 2 points up in laser? Like, you're always going to have the 100% miss chance. Like, I can understand, like, leveling up rockets, but...
I think he's going to max both of them. I don't think he's going to skill March right now. I don't think he needs to.
So go 320 damage plus 325 damage burst?
He's just going the old Tinker build, basically. Once he gets those boots of travels up and running, he's just going to rely on killing people and gain his levels through that, rather than just...
There he goes. 5th level, he puts 1 into March.
Well, screw me then.
Well, no, thanks. I'm good, man.
Wow, that's harsh.
I'm good. Sorry.
Turned down in front of 30,000
Rejection
viewers.
is hard, man.
Thank you.
Rejection. I would say I'm here for you. Top lane, Concoction over on the clockwork. And Krasin's just going to attack from range. He's still got the Weaver bug on him, so -4 armor. It's not really worth the Shikuchi to go into the range of the tower, especially without a time lapse.
And you really can't do that against the clockwork. Not only is he sitting on a stout shield and a magic stick, he also always have that power cox with it's a 15-second cooldown. So by the time it's over, there's like 10 seconds until he has it up again. And if you tower dive that with an agility hero, you're gonna die.
Yeah. I'm still wondering to see what Victor's really going to pull off from this bottom lane, because now he's down here again. But they're splitting the experience. They're not finding a kill on the Lifestealer. Grave Chill, obviously one of those things too, where Lifestealer just doesn't really care.
Yeah, but what they are doing though is keeping him off farming whatsoever. He has
I didn't realize he's
last
4-2. What?
Yeah.
Well, that's not great. But then again, at the same time, Visage got 0 for 0. So he's not really helping it as well.
Tenbird is actually doing better than the Lifestealer right now. Not only has he one more creep kill, he also participated in the kill. So.
Well, they're going to participate in another one. Looking towards the bottom lane, and the smoke is going to be revealed off right now. But Victor already moved down. He didn't see it because we're ganking at nighttime. Hellbear, he didn't get the clap off. The Frostbite's already gone off from Visage. The arrow's flying up from the Mirana, and it hits the Hellbear. Victor is one more attack, and Tenbird will be able to get that one. At the same time, maybe Mitch with the Starfall. He picks up one, but he'll lose his own life. Life's still in the middle of it, so he gets himself finally on the board with a couple of kills.
And it started out to be a bit of miscommunication from StarTale. They just realized they couldn't go on the bottom after Lifestealer had already used the open wounds on him. And they still tried to get the Priestess of the Moon, despite her having obviously leap, but also boots up on her. This was the easy kill for them to get. They ended up getting both because
Mitch tried to come back and try and get a kill in the meantime.
Yeah, he did get the kill, but it was very greedy of him. I don't think the trade was necessarily worth it for him.
YK is still having a rough time up on this top lane, but then again, look at his CS. He's managed to pick up 18-2. Like, I really love this from StarTale. They're off to an amazing start so far.
Definitely.
Like, their only downside is the fact that Mitch did still get a kill. So that we will still see the Mirana with like a decent item progression. But both teams also starting to prep the stacks of Ancients, something which Tinker really, really enjoys. Like, you're just able to get that rearm Master Machines, and that's what he's done. He's gone 2-2-3 on the build.
Oh, what's this on bottom lane? Tenbird is...
Is he going to steal?
Oh,
he tried to deny
it's
it. There's a roar from Funzy. And there's a soul assumption damage if Victor wants to use it. I thought maybe they might miss uphill.
Oh, and Chen still denies the regen rune.
The Dark Troll just slipping his way undetected.
That was a very, very expensive deny, though.
To end up losing your hero like that, but at the same time, it still wastes a little bit more time of the Beastmaster.
It's going to give a lot of space for the Tinker, and he doesn't have to worry about the Raw for another minute now.
One thing for Tinker, though, is like he can pop up this March of the Machines, but he doesn't have rearm yet. He's still just a little bit short of rearm.
But it's not really... It's not that...
You don't see it as essential?
No, it's not
because
important.
you still got a 35-second cooldown. One March of the Machines won't be enough to get rid of this Ancient stack.
No, definitely not, but he has all the time in the world, as long as he's not being ganked, which he's not right now. All he just needs is those boots of travel, so he can take it like nice and slow. There's no Raw right now. He's not in a hurry whatsoever. What is a problem for them, though, is if they let this Beastmaster go up and take those creeps. See, Alchemist is smoked up. I think Twister might have prepared to go behind the tower on the top lane. Not entirely sure what his plan is.
He's waiting for a defender to come up. Like,
Yeah.
if it's just like a Tinker coming up or if it's a Clockwork, they'll feel they can gank him up. The biggest problem I've seen...
Oh, actually, he's using acid spray on the creep camp.
Is he trying to take it?
He got some of it.
Well, he's up to level 5 right now. In the meantime, there's a Cog right now. Actually, a very good Cog as well. On both Visage as well as on the Mitch. And the Moonlight Shadow won't protect him. So now 2 heroes for 1 go down inside their own jungle.
Oh, and now StarTale realizes what Twister is doing. They
Yeah.
have a ward displaying that. And Riam is up on the Tinker, so he's gonna clear out last of the creep camp. There's no mana left on Twister for him to take it, but he did get like almost a full level off of it.
Not a bad thing for an Alchemist. How many... He does have the 3 points acid spray.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably the only way that was ever going to work. Grazine now going to play around with a Clockwork. The Clockwork just a little bit too fast. Triggers off the haste rune, but Shikuchi through. Grazine's got the time lapse. He can't. He was short of the mana after he did the second Shikuchi. So he was never able to get the time lapse off, and then it was just a simple thing of just cogging and battery assaulting down. Especially when you're in that close, when you're underneath the tier 1 tower and taking damage.
But YK has been playing a really convincing Clockwork these 2 games so far. I really like what I'm seeing from him.
Oh, right now, 1. They've got to try and find somewhere to get themselves back in this. Like, Twister comes in towards the middle lane. We'll get to see Funzy go for a little bit of a rotate and see if he can find somebody out of position. While down the bottom lane, it's the Lifesteal they are probably looking at. Lifesteal has found some CS. It's not really amazing. The one person they do need to lock down, well, it's going to be the Chen in this case. It's going to be the Raw Arrow combination. So Chen will die here in the jungle. But the main person they were really searching for was the Tinker. Like, they need to stop him with his item progression because he's about to pick up his BTs. In fact, he now has his BTs. With this this hard camp stack, BTs are now up. So we're going to have Tinker everywhere across the map. And so at this point in time, I'm also wishing he did go the build you're talking about with like the 4 points up and the rockets. Because a quick move to the bottom lane, a couple of rockets,
Exactly.
and Lifestealer has all the space in the world.
Exactly. It was one of these strategies that were really legendarized by eHome. Something they would do is just farm up those boosts of travel as fast as humanly possible, and just TP on lanes constantly to force the enemy to go home.
Just like that. Like Grazine, he just used his Shikuchi.
Yeah, and because he
comes out
died
of it.
earlier, he went for that Hand of Midas, so he doesn't have any natural regen going on. He's popping that one healing salve he had with him, but he doesn't have that Ring of Health yet, so that's going to be very hard on him if Tinker keeps on doing this.
And he's coming over again. And he just after he used Shikuchi again. Concoction's on the way. The rockets will actually not connect over towards Grazine more than they actually get split up with
what's
Twister.
MP? What's MP? Oh, he wants to kill.
If he...
Didn't have the vision for it. He realized that he was going to outrun this Alchemist, and that at some point he was going to blow up on himself.
I think he also realized too the fact he was running out of mana too fast. He didn't have mana to do the proper combination.
Well, he already used Rocket. I don't think he had Rearm up.
Yeah. Well, he had mana for the rearm.
Yeah, but nothing else.
Yeah, which was the problem. There's no combination. Lifesteal is backing up from this bottom lane.
We see Mids is also going for the Midas, so StarTale's biggest issue right now, it's not a big deal, but they have had the Lifestealer solo on the bottom lane. They haven't really been losing out on it, but they've been giving Mids a lot of farm. Lifestealer's been getting a lot of levels, but no
They're
farm.
rotating. Clockwork, hook shot, and he managed to pick up Funzy. The rockets went over towards Mitch as well. Funzy, well, he will be, he'll have a stunned up Clockwork next to him, but it's okay with the Troll Trap. Almost controlling up Mitch. There's a Centaur stun over on the Alchemist. Chen Nuke flying his way as well. Chemical Rays, they're actually working through his life points, and the Lifestealer infest damage was able to pick up the Alchemist. And even an extra earn charge just to make sure that Victor goes all the way back to base. And this is now StarTale's opportunity to push the bottom lane. They've got an undead army, they've got a Centaur as well. They're looking really good.
Yeah,
like, they're looking
definitely are.
fantastic.
It's a good fight for them. Good initiate by YK again.
Is this going to be the first game a Korean team has ever won off a foreigner?
Bro,
Just saying.
that's rough.
I'm just saying.
But it might be, yeah.
Bottom lane, Funzy. He's got Roar up and available right now, but there goes the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. And it will be StarTale falling back.
And Chen is almost going to complete that mechanism of his, so that means they can easily take those tier 1 towers. They have the Tinker with levels now and the Boots of Travel, so that allows him to TP back and forth, doing the March of the Machines and the heat-seeking missile spam. And then they can just push down these towers easily. It's very hard for one to actually defend. What they have to rely on is wild access and the acid spray. This doesn't really offer much, and this is only level 5.5, so there's no birds on him. There's no real annoying visits to deal for StarTale at this point.
It's prepping up for Twister. He can't see him. He can't see him. If that... Oh, no, he didn't get it off in time. It's waiting for the Tinker to BT himself back down towards that bottom lane, but he's out of mana right now and has to go back to base after pushing out the top lane.
And by not dying and doing these fights, even though Dew on the bottom lane doesn't have a lot
Clockwork. He's moving in. Is he going to cog? He's going to point blank range hook shot. The arrow will come in, but again, the battery assault's going to do his job over on Funzy, and Tempered drops the ultimate as well. YK, he uses one charge and gets himself away from Mirana, who's troll trapped up. Alchemist back in towards this fight right now, but Rocket's flying out. Centaur with a stomp down. Twister dying outside of his own chemical rage, and now Victor as well. Another set of rockets coming in. The Tinker will get that pick up. Level 11.5 Tinker with 2,400 gold already, and we're 14 minutes into this game. And now he picked up a Blink Dagger with his money, and mid's going to get forced off this mid.
StarTale is playing this amazingly well. I really like the movement coming out from them. And YK just seems to be in the right spot at the right time constantly.
Man, their movement is exactly what you would expect from like a tier 1 team. Like a tier 1 team over here in Europe. They're moving around nicely. They're smoking up. They're ganking up. They're finding the counter initiations.
Yeah,
a couple of times that you can still see them in a more of a risky kind of position that one's allowing them to get away with. But at the same time, it's like even again, I'm impressed by the progression of the Korean scene.
Oh, definitely.
Or at least this team.
Gandhi and Tenbird as well with the support movement has been great.
Yeah.
Even for denying the Beastmaster runes.
And now a tier 1 tower. Another one goes the way of StarTale. And they haven't lost a single tower just yet. Grazine's trying to creep skip out this top lane. But he's only got that tower down at half of its life.
And as you were saying earlier, it's really important that Rubian Weaver gets first up that defensive item of his, most likely a Lincoln Sphere. And then later on get the Desolator. But right now, because of that one death and him sitting on a Midas, he only has a Ring of Health and Power Tread, so he can't really offer much for the fights right now. It's a very good hero for fighting at all times of the game. But it's just not a threat to them right now. They have a Mechanism up, they have Hand of God, and then they have a Tinker who's extremely farmed. So even if the Weaver runs it with Tsukuchi, he's going to go through Master Machines, and it's just going to take too much of his HP off. And with the sort of death ball that StarTale can make with the Clockwork in front, they can easily just push down these tier 2 towers as well. I'm really hoping to see that. There's an armlet up on Lifestealer now, so even though he had that hard time on bottom lane, because he hasn't died and because they've taken these fights successfully, he still got decent farm. We're 15 minutes in, so by no means great item progression for him. But he has the necessary item. You hear a bit of laughter coming out from Team 1, so they definitely haven't lost their morale.
Their moral.
Moral.
Can't lose the moral, man.
Oh.
Double troll Warlord as well as a Centaur coming towards the top lane. They may be forced to lose it pretty shortly because things aren't going 100% right for them. With now the Lifestealer having an armlet. If he infests right now inside of YK and they get a jump in initiation, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose so many heroes so quickly. Like, Familiars are scouting out for the moment. It's almost worth StarTale making sure they get rid of them. In fact, they managed to get the drops down. But with a good surround, they can take it. Sentry wards are coming down already from the Chen. So StarTale, they're already preparing for one to come in close. The Familiars go down. They're going to lose one. So only one Familiar on the sideline. So let's jump ourselves over the Steam chat. Should be with the Serbians one.
Jump. Just go back.
All right, awesome. So Arrow's going to connect onto Gandhi, DD Rune, and that's going to be more than enough damage here for Mitch to at least get one kill. But Lifestealer, he's just beating down on top of that Weaver, moves over towards the Alchemist, throw the Sun, he can't do it. It's going to be a double kill for JYU. It should be a triple kill to chase down Funzy of Tenbird. Nah, he couldn't get himself in range for the Frostbite. So now StarTale's going to bail themselves back out a little bit. There's still Infest available from the Lifestealer. He never had to use it during the team fight. The axe is just a little bit too short. Mirana, Arrow, flies down. There's a Tinker TPing in there, but nice move by the Chen. Move the Tark Troll Warlord over towards the side. The Rockets come and hit Funzy, just forcing him again back off the lane. And another good fight going the way of StarTale, even though this time around they did lose a little bit more than they did before.
Because of that pickup on the Weaver as well, the fight did end up going in favor of StarTale, but I think one did what they needed to, sort of play a guerrilla warfare kind of playstyle against them and split StarTale up. And they did that successfully until they sort of overextended. They didn't have much to offer, and Visage wasn't in the fight at any point in time because he got caught out very early on by the Lifestealer. Lifestealer is 6-0 now. And of course, neither Lifestealer nor the Tinker died, who's the two late-game heroes on StarTale's lineup, so that really worked in their favor.
I'm interested to see Lifestealer's next item progression. It's something which we don't see from a lot of Naxes these days, but to go from Armlet now into Assault Cuirass. Like, there's a lot of different items, especially when, if you go with the Armlet early on, and without a Hand of Midas, like, you look towards your drums, you look towards these kind of items.
Yeah, we often see the drums and the Sanctions Yasha builds coming out from some, especially European players.
Yep.
So I think the Assault Cuirass is a great pickup. It's going to make him more tanky. It's going to mean that the enemy has a harder time fighting against them. Whereas the Sanctions Yasha, I mean, it's cool for public games. I'm just not a big fan of it in a competitive setting.
But you're a fan of this?
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Assault Cuirass pickup.
You have a bit of a top lane movement right now, so we did finally see that Infest with, like, I'm not quite sure, like, if he's just got, like,
Speaking of,
I would say like purple balls, but it's something else in front of him right now. It's more pinkish as well. But Mirana's just hiding in the tree lines. The Beastmaster Hawk is keeping the vision up for Midge. He'll fire the arrow out, and that's going to be a good connection over towards the Crystal Maiden, but it's not going to stop this top lane push.
Yeah, and the push that one can really do in a counter response to the push that comes out from StarTale is just too lackluster, and the Tinker has such an easy time defending against it.
Yeah.
So one is really struggling to take down just a single tower. They're putting 3 heroes on the middle lane, and the tower went below half HP, and that's about it.
That's the range right there of the hook shot of the Clockwork.
Oh, look at Twister now. He's going to get
He
caught
can
out.
reach so much.
Oh, not.
No, the rocket was too short. But YK has most definitely been looking for someone to kill off. If he's not careful, by the time he actually jumps himself in, there'll be another Infest available for the Lifesteal. And now Mitch, he's close enough. He uses the Hand of Mice to start picking off the chain creeps.
He's standing really far up.
So at this point, you kind of almost just say, like, just throw the hook out. Like, they're trying to get a little bit more vision. They get rid of the hawk. This Observer Ward is meant to be doing the hard work for YK. Now he comes in very, very close towards the Tier 2 Tower, in fact, taking some damage from it. But Twister is, again, they're using the Fog of War. They're hiding in the tree lines.
Yeah, the second YK sees either the Alchemist or the Beastmaster, he's going to jump. He just can't jump on the Priestess of the Moon.
And Grazine's going to be getting a little bit annoyed about this. Like, he's farming up the middle lane, but right now it's just one hero. It's the Tinker that's holding out, like, all the lanes, while one's got 4 players up on this top lane. They're not really pulling anything out of the jungle either. They're just basically under siege while this Clockwork waits for initiation time or space.
And it's the beauty of Tinker. You're not really missing out on farm and experience on your other lanes because he can be everywhere constantly.
There's the TP finally coming in. So, well, Mitch just jumps himself away. The Rockets will still be able to both connect on him.
And Mitch needs to go home and heal now. That means this Tier 2 tower should go down.
They're going to really commit to this.
C1's response is moving to the bottom lane and trying to push out that bottom tower. And maybe even gank the Tinker if he TPs to defend it. You can see they're smoked up. And Funzy is standing there waiting. Patiently waiting.
Something's going to be called. Like, you'd have...
There we go.
Oh,
there we go.
No. Is he going to blink straight away? It's almost like a shift blink. Into the tree line. The bugs are in the wrong position as well.
Oh,
they
he
won't be able to
cancelled
latch
it.
him. And they do. What, did he? Oh, he cancelled his rearm?
No, he can't. I thought he started the TP. I might be wrong.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
His
okay.
BTs are still there. The Mirana ulti right now is allowing Beastmaster, who dived completely underneath that tower, to be able to survive. While the rest of them was just jumping out. But the unstoppable streak of Lifesteal was just ended on the top lane.
They did a counter initiate, probably with an arrow from mid, so I'm not entirely sure.
Mirana's the one that got the kill, so I'd assume
Yeah.
that was part of it. But they also triggered the Mirana ultis, allowing them to probably getting a lot closer.
Tenbird was actually sitting on sentry wards, but he assumed that Funzy had already TP'd out. I think with a bit more experience, he would have realized that no TP goes that fast, because he was right on top of him.
But for now, what's Funzy now got? I thought for a moment he managed to find some farm like under a rock and just pick up a Necro book. But for now, not the case.
Oh, look at this. They're actually going to see. YK is... Oh, they're just going to walk past by each other.
You're trying to one like if they're trying to kill off Funzy here?
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to see him, but he's
Still,
cleverly avoiding with a bit of luck. And how does he know where they are?
I don't know, man.
He He cleverly evaded both Clockwork and Chen. And there's no Hawk watching them.
There's the blind luck. That's a good long arrow on this bottom lane. Almost worth extra TPs in. And that's exactly what StarTale actually do.
And when
They
he leaves,
TP in the
there.
Tinker. There's your laser. More sets of rockets. Clockwork hook in. Leap away. Mitch on about 78 life points. He was able to survive on that one. But more rockets now coming the way of Alchemist. Looking for the AoE stun. They're going to make sure they keep split up. And now he does get the stun off. But after his own death, he was locked inside the march of the machines.
This might actually allow StarTale to push into the base because there's no
I don't see why not.
They're just going to do that. There's no acid spray to defend with, and that's half of their AoE defense.
And what are you going to do? Like, you're bringing the familiars. They don't have a drop down just yet. Those familiars can be picked off, doing a lot of damage there to Tembird. Whereas they weren't even attacked. Oh, arrow. Another 5 second stun over on the champ. But the cogs from YK pushing him back. Unfortunately, he's managed to trap his own teammate. The live sealer caught inside the cogs, but Beastmaster, frostbitten up, and Tembird drops the oldie down. So we are looking at trade-offs here. Well, Clockwork is able to run himself away from these familiars. And the rest of the bugs of the Weaver are being cleaned up. And a full BKB is now completed on Clockwork, but he must TP back to base.
A successful defense by one, because without that Chen, there's no healing coming out from StarTale, and he had both the mechanism. It was actually on cooldown for another 3 seconds. I think if had it been up, he might have saved himself. And of course, actually, Hand of God was on cooldown as well, also coming off cooldown now. So this means that StarTale is most likely going to push the middle tower, or even attempt a Roshan. They should definitely...
I don't know about Roshan until they take out the tier 2 tower, because you've still got the problems like Acid Spray, Axes, Weaver Bugs, long-range arrows, familiar problems, and then you've got, like, if you get any kind of vision, then you've got raw possibilities as well from the Beastmaster. It's just a little bit too dangerous to go inside the pit right now.
And Fancy being sort of broke for a Beastmaster.
Oh, another arrow. Able to connect from Mitch, and that was a very, very long-range arrow. Lincoln's Field be triggered from Grazine. But the rest of StarTale just get back behind the tier 1 tower, apart from MP, who gives them a marked machine's cover fire.
I like this item pickup from Fancy. Instead of the Necromicon, knowing he's behind in terms of gold, he goes for the Force Staff, where he can actually, not only can he get in close, but he can also obviously save his teammates and get out of those pesky cogs.
StarTale waiting for this push to come up middle lane, now with a DD rune as well over on the Clockwork. The Rockets are only scouting out the Alchemist on the mid. And now Tinker will TP him. Out of town is the primary goal right now. Back one into a corner. They still have a huge tower advantage. There's only been one tower lost for StarTale.
Look at this item pickup from Tinker, though. A Scythe of Vice.
Yeah.
This is a very, very, very important item to pick up for them. That means they can pick off anyone right now. He has a Blink Dagger. If he blinks in and hexes someone, even the Priestess of the Moon, they should be able to just burst him down.
Look at the movement here. The axes fly out as well as the arrow again looking for the Tinker, but he's back to base while Mirana down to 100 life points here on the bottom lane. And the pings are coming out. Tier 2 tower goes down the mid, and the pings are coming out saying, hey, let's think about Rosh.
I really like this from StarTale. If you see what the birds are hitting on right now, the familiars, they're hitting on a Wild Wing Ripper. And they had placed it there so that Tinker could TP in on that instead of having to TP on creep waves and tower. Really, really smart and efficient play from StarTale.
We get our next item up from the Tinker. So Dagon it will be. Look for the burst damage, especially for quick hero kills. Like, you're able to just pick off that Mirana, running Hand of Midas as well as Mana Style. At least the Mana Style helps bring her up about 1,200 life points, but apart from that, it's not looking that great for the Mirana. Not once there's some damage dealing items. When you look at like over at the CM, who's finished up drums, Force Staff, while walking around with Tranquil Boots, you get a lot of farm up on these supports of StarTale. You kind of would expect that too when they had an advantage of about 7,500 gold. But their advantage is starting to whittle away. If you check out the graphs, it kicks back down again. They had 7,000 experience advantage, and now it's about 1.5.
Hand of Midas, Toby.
True. They are running 2 of them.
It's all about the golden hand.
Broken. Ah! Whoops. That wasn't me.
I really think the collective lineup of StarTale has been doing a great job this game. They really, like, it's a team effort and everyone has been playing really, really well. I'm very impressed with them. See an offensive Potter also coming out trying to pick off that Tinker, or now hiding in the wood. Are they gonna find him? There's actually a lifesteal in on the Tinker, so this might...
It could really turn on him badly.
It really could.
Especially now that we've got Clockwork coming in close too, so if there is going to be a bit of a gank on this top lane, like they saw Grazine for a moment.
This is so interesting. Both teams want to be aggressive.
A blink.
And here we go.
Dagon, Hex, as well as the Clockwork jump in. Yes, she managed to lock in Mitch. The Manasar will pop, trying to get himself out. Funzy will TP himself away to safety, while Weaver is chasing down MP. He's getting battery assaulted up. There's no Gemini tag underneath the tower. He's trying to get rid of the bug around the corner. Does mean Grazine has to dive a long way under that tower. There's no other follow-up. There's a leap down, or maybe there is. It's actually with a Force-Staff from Tembird, and it'll lock him in position. The Chen army rotates around. Tinker for a Weaver, well worth the trade for StarTale.
I'm not entirely sure about that. I think that trade went both ways.
For me, it's shutting down the Weaver's damage-dealing item. We're 28 minutes in, and he's got 2,500 gold. Like, it's not bad money right now for a Weaver, but Tinker's always going to make his money back.
The good part about this is, to further help your case in this, is the fact that Tinker can just TP up. So when they're pushing this top tower, they haven't effectively lost much time other than a good minute of farm time for him.
That's what I go with, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping my case.
You're good.
Yeah. Can almost say too good.
No, you really can't. So right now, Lifesteal is just missing that Hyperstone. He's 800, 700 gold off. 800 gold, my math eludes me. Yeah, so he's 800 gold off the Hyperstone, and then he'll complete that Assault Cuirass, and that's really gonna, I think,
it's gonna make the push into the base a lot easier.
It's gonna break the back of one.
Well, one's about to try and get itself a little bit more insurance, and that's going in for Roshan if they can finish the job. The Hawk's out there watching, and look at the rocket timing of Clockwork. Scouts out the fact, but it's already too late.
Too late.
They use the Midnight Shadows, and out the jump. There is, however, one thing which they must do, and that's pick up the Aegis. There we go. So Mirana will take the Aegis, the Immortal. But I don't see StarTale backing down from this one, because even if somebody, like we have like Mirana with the Aegis, the Immortal, but you kill off Mirana, if there's a double wave of March of the Machines, and she doesn't have leap, she's dead again.
Yeah, it'd be a big mistake for StarTale to like let off the gas right now. They need to just continue pushing and just push in, and really they have the
pings are coming out. They want to get the Mirana. Oh, the Manasal! It popped him on the cliff. He actually leaped himself into the tree line and TP'd out. Not quite sure if intentional awesomeness.
It's near impossible for StarTale to gank him without the Scythe of Ice from the Tinker.
That means they need a quicker way of getting him in.
This gives a lot of time. This movement that StarTale is doing, where they're not actually pushing anything, but just running around as 4 people, means that only Tinker is getting farmed. Lifestealer is left to jungle a bit of creeps every now and then, but he's not really getting much else than that. He does have his Hyperstone now, though, so that means they're probably going to go for that last push of theirs. They know they've already hurt the bottom lane, so they're marking out that they're going to push that lane, preparing.
Now the courier flies. BKB for the Weaver. AC.
Good vision coming out from Team 1 here. They have a ward standing right on the bottom lane where they're being pushed from. And another one on the rune
And
spot.
then that ward's gone.
Right.
They prepare themselves.
Good counter warding.
Yeah, they're really keeping their eyes open for this.
But StarTale needs to bring these sentries to the fight because of the Priestess of the Moon ultimate.
It's probably the primary reason that thing went down.
Yeah. Because Moonlight Shadow can really turn the tides of a battle. If you cannot see your enemy and your enemy is allowed to engage, because despite Fonzie having a Force Staff on the Beastmaster, it's not really that easy for him to engage on Tinker, for instance. And I think he do need to hit the Tinker. And that's the problem. They have one lockdown for either Tinker or Lifestealer. Unless, of course, they hit a long-range arrow the way we see Speed Gaming do with Sing Sing.
Yeah.
Always rely on Sing Sing.
Well, so far Mitch has been hitting those arrows pretty damn well. It's made a lot of openings for one.
Oh, here we go. Moonlight Shadow being used. They're going to seek out. There's plenty of sentry wards.
Yeah, and they're getting attacked as they walk out,
Yeah,
so they
one
realize that
knows.
something is wrong. The attack of the arrow just only hit the Centaur, and
Oh,
now
here we go.
Clockwork's going to jump in. Mirana, she's still got leap, but the BKB now goes up from Clockwork, and the Hex over towards Funzy. So they get rid of the Beastmaster, all 4 staff up. It's going to burn them back a little bit of the cogs. But that's it, but Beastmaster has no buyback.
Oh, and Priestess of the Moon actually dies losing the Aegis.
Oh, that's a huge loss right there.
And there's no buyback on the Beastmaster.
They're coming up. Alchemist just stunned himself. They could almost capitalize on this one. There's already open wounds on him, but at the same time, that Clockwork getting nuked down, but Livestealer in the middle of this fight, let the Wolf just buff him up as far as the damage output goes. He goes through Victor with a double kill. Will get stunned up, but there's only going to be a 2-second stun coming off from the arrow. Infest jumps back out again. Almost enough damage to kill off that Mirana a second time, but they get rid of Twister, and one of their backs to the wall. The Hex goes over on Grazine. The rockets keep flying out as well. And they're just trying to keep one. Well, they can't keep them all the way back, unfortunately, as far as StarTale goes. There's more TPs coming out, and that's going to be now Mitch attempting the arrow. It flies up. The ticket's already been sent back to base by the Chen.
It was actually a beautiful play by StarTale. Crystal Maiden was almost dying to Gruzine's Nerubian.
They might find more, man. They might find more. But then again, with the Hex over on Funzy, the Chen nuke onto Grazine, the Dagon following up on him. Now forced up by Tembird. You know what he wants to do is Frostbite into the ultimate, and that forces the time-lapse out and forces also Mitch to run down. They had both the ultimate from the Crystal Maiden plus the March of the Machines coupling up right there. And then they got the Hex. They got the Hex on Grazine, but he's just moving way too fast for Tembird to stay on top of him. Then the TP out by Grazine. He'll be okay. Familiar drop down just in case they got spotted.
Really good execution from StarTale. I especially like the little move in their base where Crystal Maiden, as I was trying to say, when another fight happened. Tembird almost died on the Crystal Maiden, and then double 4-staff while Chen was sending him home. It looked sweet. It was just by the end of the double 4-staff that he was just sent back to base. A beautiful little detail.
Slide to safety. Livesteal's finally going to go back to base. 1900 gold on him. Interested to see what his next item's going to be. He's still got a stout shield he can sell off right now.
They can be very satisfied with that fight. I mean, they didn't even get the base tower, but they got so many kills and so much gold in them that fight easily made it worth it. You see, Crystal Maiden, she was sitting on 2,500 gold. She just bought something. She bought a Gem of True Sight. I think she'd be wise to maybe get a Ghost Scepter.
Wouldn't be a bad choice right now, but not having to buy Sentry Wards all the time is going to be a good way. And she could almost buy Ghost Scepter. Like, she's sitting at 1,600 gold after buying the gem.
She could also be a boss and get a Blink Dagger.
Could be a boss. Could definitely be a boss, but I think Ghost Scepter's going to be a better choice. Either that or she waits for the BKB.
And Drew is now trying to get that Cranium Basher up and running. He has that Assault Cuirass. He has a Javelin in his stash, and he has a Bell of Strength in his inventory.
Well, at least that answers that question. Bottom lane push, we're coming again, man.
They can fall on MP's Tinker. He's not even saving for buyback. He just wants the kills.
Well, why not? If you can ensure these kills, then you can ensure you can break base. And that's all StarTale want to do right now. They don't want to wait this game out. Moonlight Shadow's been used by once. They can get in nice and close. Raw and Livesteal, but look at Funzy. He just dropped in the middle of this one, but he's not dead completely. 400 life points. Clockwork latches in on him, and then the Cogsburn will kill him off. At the same time, the Alchemist dying on the right side of the play. Grazine Lincoln's Field will be triggered, and what a nice 4-staff. Actually trying to hold him in position. Leap away by the runner will allow him to stay alive. Grazine, in the meantime, also trying to pick up these two supporters, which he'll do so. Both the Chen or Frostbite Centaur doesn't have a stun. So he'll go down right then, but the extra support of the Clockwork as well as the Livestealer return back over towards the Weaver. The Cogs go down again, holding him in position. It's a triple kill for YK, and one will lose their bottom racks right now, and possibly more, because all the other tier 2 towers are down.
And I think the unsung hero of this particular fight was actually Tembird on the Crystal Maiden. Such great play by him. I don't know if you saw, but he was escaping the Weaver constantly, just forcing Grazine to run around just for a Crystal Maiden, and Grazine was not giving up on trying to get that Crystal Maiden, and he kept on juking him back and forth up through ledges with the 4-staff into the tree line.
Yep.
He bought so much time for his carries to actually finish off the one lineup.
Well, with that now, bottom rack's gone for one. The mid-tier 3 tower also dropping to about a third or a quarter of its life points right there. And that's because the Clockwork, it was a quick rotation up with the Livestealer. They just went to town on it, and the Livestealer has the full basher. And it's a hell of a lot closer to that Abyssal Blade than he was about 2-3 minutes ago. And Mr. Gandhi, like Mr. I have Livesteal, I have Mana Boots, I have Mech. It's the man who is literally there for his people.
Yeah, I think him and Tembird should just get the Ghost Scepters right now so they don't constantly have to fear the Weaver. You see YK on the Clockwork picking up a Mystic Staff, so he's soon got that Shivas. He's sitting on 1,700 gold.
Well, your Crystal Maiden didn't buy it up. She's going for Heaven's Halberd instead. The pings are coming out for Roshan. Clockwork in the invis takes the arrow. But Roshan now has the potential to respawn up. And we see the timer, so it's just over a minute.
I actually like that Heaven's Halberd choice from Tenbird. That means he has another item that can actually trigger the Lincoln Sphere, so his Frostbite can effectively hold him in place.
You might have also noticed too, like with the Heaven's Halberd, you can have that evasion chance. And the Mirana isn't going Monkey King Bar. The Mirana's now going to be building into either a BKB or a Desolator to go with the Crystallis she already purchased up. So it was pure full-on damage to come out from Mirana in this case. But because of that, this kind of stuff is also going to happen. Like Mirana can't get too close. Again, attempting another arrow. This time it will not connect. But this top lane tower is just whittling away down. And you got your Ghost Scepter finally, but this time it's over on Tinker. I'm kind of interested to see, too, if Tinker goes the extra mile as far as, like, regeneration goes. Like, when he gets back to base, he pops up, he gets rid of the bottle. Raw now going to go into Clockwork. Grazine, he's pretty deep in here. The arrow will connect onto the Crystal Maiden, so that's a good 5-second stun, so he's taken out this fight for now. But MP, the Ghost Scepter's making life very, very difficult, especially when you got the Chen Nukes coming out. Buyback will come from the Tinker. May as well get yourself back in towards this fight, while Tenbird, the man who got 5-second arrow at the very, very start, force-stuffed up the hill, able to survive the axe, though, on the reverse swing. Will be able to take his life points away, but then blink up by MP and that Alchemist. When Chemical Rage wears off, that Dagon just eats through his life points, and they're eating through that melee Rex to start with. And it's the primary goal for the moment. The Mirana again now actually going down outside the mid tower, outside the mid lane entrance into the one base. Gandhi needs more help. Mac, it was 3 seconds away from him again. The timing just doesn't seem to be perfect for him. Grazine just losing a lot of life points. As Blink Dagger, you knew it was going to come again. Blink Dagger into the Dagon. Of course, by that point, the Lincoln Spear's already been triggered off too. And MP goes for another one too. Visage, now Hex, over to Funzy. Clockwork jump in. Is it going to be? No. It'll be taken, in fact, by the creep wave that was there. And one lose their entire team again. And this time, they're also going to have like a creep wave and a half. If not, actually, yeah, there's going to be a double creep wave and a half with a catapult pushing him through that top lane to the range racks.
What a great fight coming out from StarTale. Again, from all of them, but MP especially. He was focused out and died. He barely had for the buyback, but he did. And then he just comes in with those fast fingers and just completely demolishes what's left of one.
Yep. So now they look towards this tier 3 tower in the mid. And with that going to go down, or maybe Alchemist again. That level 5 Dagon is so brutal to anybody who is even slightly near death. Arrow flies down towards the middle and it misses completely. The Hex goes and he found the right one. Out of all three of them, he instantly chose the right one. This is GG. And it is. There's the call coming out from one. StarTale, the first Korean team ever, not even to do it on home soil. They come away from Korea over here to Poland, and they bring down the Serbian team 1, and they have a chance to prevail and push through the lower part of this bracket. And if they do so, they'll have to go through either Fnatic or Alliance, which is coming up next.
And I don't think Alliance and Fnatic should count themselves through this group stage at all. I think what StarTale just displayed was really, really great Dota. I think they can definitely upset these. We saw them be in a close match against Fnatic. Yes, Fnatic was using their manager as a stand-in, but still, StarTale is playing really well.
Yeah, man, I agree.
And they just dealt with Midas Dota. Granted, it was only 2 Midases.
Yeah. But they deal with Midas Dota, and they deal with the possibility of a huge amount of farm. And they stuck to their guns. Like, they knew when they want to push in. Like, the game was done 40 minutes and 10 seconds in. And you're doing that with a Chen, a Tinker, and a Lifestealer. Like, you don't have great tower melters, but you got map control positions. They were jumping themselves around. They took out tier 1s. They looked at the tier 2s. They just kept advancing themselves bit by bit, little by little. They just worked their way closer and closer. And they didn't just back off and say, okay, now we're in the lead. Let's make sure we get further ahead. Like, throw that analogy out the window. Make sure you stay ahead is more important. And that's exactly what they did.
A lot of people have been talking about MP from StarTale being like the standout player, but I think this was like a team effort. Everyone was playing so extremely well on them. The movement from the entire team throughout the entire game was spot on. Tenbird, Gandhi on the supports played a great game, both of them. The Lifestealer, despite having a hard lane on the bottom lane, he got his farm. He ended on a 10-1 score, I think.
10-1? 10-1-6?
And then YK on the Clockwork really just leading all these initiates in the early game, mid game, and even into the late game. I think that was a great performance by StarTale as a team.
Man, I'm looking forward to what they're going to say, so I'm waiting for the little nod to say that Zoe's ready.
Yeah.
Because she has, again, the wonderful guy from StarTale. So, and it seems like they are ready. So over to Zoe with StarTale.
Thank you very much, guys. Timber, that was a convincing game from your team. So, of course, congratulations. You guys must be feeling pretty darn good right now. Are you now a bit scared about what's coming, or are you just happy for how it went so far? Let's try this.
I think we can go home happy. We can lose everything now. It's fine. Our goal was to win one game, and we did it. I'm satisfied.
So if we look at the game we just saw, I mean, the casters were talking about it. If we mainly look at the bans coming out from Team 1, what went through your guys' head? Because a lot of people couldn't really make sense of why did they ban like Timbersaw? Have you guys been playing Timbersaw a lot? Or like, do you think there was a specific reason? Or was this just like well, we don't like to play against those heroes, that's why we banned them?
I think it was a mix of they didn't want to play against these heroes, and also those two heroes are, I mean, they're kind of up and coming. I mean, I wouldn't say they're first ban worthy, but they're heroes that definitely weaker teams, like since we're the weaker team going in, they're heroes that weaker teams can definitely take advantage of and try to take a win with those heroes. So that's why I think they, try to eliminate all possibilities, and yeah.
So how did you make the decision in terms of bans as well as picks? Did you match that just with what you know Team 1 could potentially play or likes to play, or was that just a reactionary thing?
I picked 5 heroes that I thought of before going into the game. This is a draft that we used pretty often. We used it in NSL. It's a draft that we're very confident using. So I said, you know what, whatever, let's put on a show.
And that you did, and what a show indeed. I mean, it was really one-sided towards the end. Do you feel like there has been times in the game where it could have gone either way?
I think we played very patiently, but I don't think we're behind at all throughout the whole game. I mean, I don't want to sound cocky, but I think I think throughout the whole game we were ahead and we kept our heads steady, and I think we all played very well.
So, Fnatic or Alliance, which one would you rather face off against, or do you are you a bit scared of both of those?
Well, of course I'm scared of both, but I'd like to play against Alliance. We've already played against Fnatic once. It was a great experience, but I mean, also we would like to play the TI3 winners, Alliance. I mean, I know we have no chance, but I mean, I think it's just a good experience.
I actually think, watching those games you guys have been playing today, I don't feel at all that there is the no chance sentence worth here. But, I mean, if you look at those teams, like those big Western teams, how different is that from the Korean scene? I mean, I've been asking some of the Western teams beforehand, like, what do you think is so different going on over in Korea? What do you feel is the difference?
I feel the Koreans right now, everyone is good. I think everyone is on par when it comes to individual skill, and I just think we lack experience. It's not just our team. Every other team in Korea, they lack experience. They lack in strategy. I mean, in every aspect of the game, other than individual skill, we lack.
And what do you think could be done against that? Is it just like participating more in foreign tournaments, or try to like play against foreign teams more?
Yeah, exactly. I think we need better connections. We need to find better teams to scrim. I mean, we only scrim against ourselves. There's only so much we can learn.
Yeah. Well, I very much hope to see you guys more often on like these kind of events here, because it's so much fun to just see something a bit different coming out of it. So if we look at the whole tournament, who would you pick as the favorite? Would you make a guess?
I'd have to say either Navi or VG. I think Alliance comes close second.
All right. Well, we will see what's going to happen. I definitely wish your team good luck, and thanks once more for showing us such a great few games so far. Can't wait for the next one to happen. But before that, we have, of course, the winners' game still awaiting for us, and also the analyzing of this very game. So that's what we're going to go over.
I'm not actually sure that this is the actual game. I hear from... Yeah, I hear from Toby this is actually Fnatic versus StarTale, so that would be completely wrong. Oh, okay. So this is not the game I wanted to show you. This is Fnatic versus StarTale instead. What we can do is do a rerun of the Fnatic versus StarTale match in case anyone wonders. This is YK. Instead of being first blood, actually getting the first blood on the Crystal Maiden street. The manager, everyone probably expected him to be the first blood. And he actually managed to get a double kill, so a really great turnaround from StarTale, putting them in the lead against Fnatic in the early game. And then we see No-Tail coming in with great micro. First off, he picks off Gandhi, and then watch as the Earthshaker TPs in. No-Tail is actually turning the tides around and almost killing him. If it wasn't because Tenbird already had boots of speed up, he would have been dead as well. And now No-Tail, knowing that he's going to be outnumbered, is just going to turn around, evade all the clockwork stunts with his creeps, and just run out of safety. Lets TPs in and will actually, in turns, die to the Frostbite. Oh, Gandhi. Oh, Gandhi. So, first off, great display by YK on the clockwork, and then No-Tail, just being the man that he is, goes in, makes 2 kills. Beautiful play. And that put Fnatic back in the lead. At this point in time, Fnatic we are 18 minutes in, so they have 4 Midases up and running on their team. And this was really what put them ahead against StarTale. There's nothing they could really do once these Midases came up and running. Because you can see, when you have 4 Midas on the team, 4 heroes is effectively going to have a ton of items. And even though the scoreboard was even throughout most of the entire match, all the items that Fnatic had on them was just, like, Invoker had a full inventory very, very early on. The Alchemist had a full inventory. I think even the Venom, they didn't have a Venom one, so the Enchantress then, everyone had a full inventory. And that just really sealed the deal for StarTale, even without these, with the item progression from Fnatic. StarTale managed to take these Roche fights where we saw MP just jump in. This is one of the episodes where Fnatic is just pushing their advantage right now. Because this is 31 minutes in, and with these Midases, it just keeps on escalating and snowballing. What I really want to see, Toby, what I really want to see is the Roshan fights where we see MP jump in. Toby. Right. So this is a team farming these Ancients. One thing StarTale could have done would be to ward the Ancients and actually prevent Fnatic from getting all that extra gold. We don't see that a lot anymore. A year ago, everyone would have done that. This is going to be it. Watch MP come in. Beautiful play. Whoop. Steals the Aegis. Kills Honey. Actually, does he kill Honey? I don't think he does. He's going to die right now. YK is going to go down as well. And the Storm is back up. And watch these jumps from Storm. Is that this fight? Yeah, he's going to try and get Fly off the Priestess of the Moon. And in turns, what's this? Earthshaker is going to come in. And now No-Tail is just going to auto-attack almost these 2 heroes. Whoop. Double kill for No-Tail. All right, I think that there was another Roche fight where Storm also picked up the Aegis. That was way early in the game. But aside from this, that was the Fnatic versus StarTale match. Not really the match I wanted to show you, but hopefully we can get the replays up and running sooner, later. So, great game. Go to commercials.